said something earlier, like you took a job that was too big for you, and you knew it, and there's a part of me that, like, as I was listening there, like, I'm like, okay, is that an indication? Should she not take on things that are too big for her? But then there was things that you said a little bit later on that came in where you're like, I was a principal. I took on the job as a principal, but I had 2 to 3 vice presidents and an assistant, and they all got sick. Like, what I got from there was, like, not only were you taking on something that was larger, like, than where you had been in the past, but the support system was there. You said I had no support system. I had no one there, and I was already in a job that stretched me, and I had to do everything on my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so there's an element here that one of the things that comes out for me is like, okay, support system wise, as you, for whatever you choose to create now, like, what is the support system that you actually want to have in place? And as those things fall off, what are your I call it like the and-on cord, which is like a Toyota lean manufacturing thing, where it's like, if something's off on the assembly line, you shut the whole assembly line down and you fix it, and then you continue on. So, yeah, you literally said, like, I'll cope. Like, everyone fell away from you, and it's like, I'll cope. So that to me is also like that sentence, I'll cope, is an indicator. It's like a flashing light on it, like check engine.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let me pause with that. There's going to be a couple things here, and any reactions to that, any response. Right now I'm throwing it back. I'm not necessarily saying this is where you need to go with it. Thoughts?
No, but this is really good. This is, I love that, because that's definitely sort of things that I have in place, and some of it's a bit diffuse. And so this is going to be good to really make it more visual for me of, putting on those brakes and going, that's it, stop, that's it. This is, you can't carry on like this. And there, definitely I have a completely different support system here that it's very clear for me now. And thinking about it as well, it's like, and it's something that it's an aspect, now that you've brought it up, I am going to keep as a living place to go back to. It's like, it's not, oh, I've got the structure in place, that's fine, now I can do what I like and it's going to be fine. It's like, check in. Does that structure still serve me? It's almost like a sort of risk assessment. Is like you send, if we're going to carry on with the cars and everything, it's like, you send the car to the MOT, they go and, you get to check every few years or whatever. It's like, don't hop over it, do it, because you don't want to be driving somewhere and you have a breakdown because you didn't do that check. Yeah. And sort of, or check the oil, don't hop over it, check the oil, because you don't want an overheated engine because you didn't check the oil. So it's, I think I really like that, because it's like, okay, that actually is not only something that is going to be good for me, but it will be good for my future clients to actually visualize and have a strategy even around. It's like, it becomes a strategy. It becomes a check in, check oil, check the oil.
Yeah, like, that's like, you said earlier, you said like, oh, I'm faster at recovering now. And I'm like, Philippa, I don't want that for you. I don't want you to have to like get to a place where like, well, if the burnout did happen, I could come back much faster. It wouldn't take years this time. That's not it. Right. We're in the place of, and like the car analogy for me is, it's like, we don't want you to be in fear every time you get into the car. We want we do understand that like for, like, as someone, like, I remember myself at 22 years old driving all through. There was a time I was definitely driving too fast. I had ice cream that I wanted to eat at the same time. It was like an empty 6-lane highway, and I was trying to do so much, and I just, like, it was a recipe for disaster. And I'm really glad that it didn't end up that way. and it just changed the way I drove going forward. Now it's a different experience that you've had. I'm not trying to truly relate it there, and I will I think I'm going to continue sharing back some of the things that you said. Like, I don't think that this is like here to be like, now look out for this, look out for that. That's not really the intent. The intent here is to share back some things that you said that were part of the story that maybe you're aware of it, maybe you're not, can continue to be in your toolkit, and perhaps you're using it for you, or perhaps you're using it as language to help someone else know, like, hey, by the way, like you're a hyperachiever. Like, here goes someone, like, what is your equivalent of this?
It's the World Joy Movement. Yeah. What was your greatest insight from this conversation? And if you want to come and be a part of a conversation like this live, it's really simple. Just go to beworldjoy.com and come introduce yourself, and let's take the conversation to the next level, because you're there now. All right, let's play.